Magic and the Arlington Impact. Chicago Magic are headed by Bato Radoncic. Amos McGee is the head coach of the Arlington Impact. The teams have taken the field. Chicago is going to be dressed in their PSG's all blue, and Arlington will be wearing the white kits. Chicago came into this one. They won their group with a 2-0-1 record, and they beat Celtic 2-0 yesterday morning to gain their spot in the championship here today. That group record gave them 7 points, and they have yet to allow a goal. That is one of the big things here. Carlos Pineda has not been overly tested, but he has come up big when called upon, and his defense has been stout in front of them. But Chicago likes to build things through possession as well, so that is what they're going to look to do. On the flip side, Arlington Impact came from the same group as Chicago, as they were in second place in Group B. They finished the group stage with a 1-0-2 record for 5 points, scored goals, allowed 2, and in the semifinal round, they beat the number 1 team from Group A, Santa Barbara SC, by the score of 2-1. So it's basically another Group A matchup for the national championship. Arlington Impact from Arlington, Virginia. Chicago Magic hail from Highland Park, Illinois. The teams have taken the field, as I said, Chicago wearing their blue PSG kits. They will be going left to right, and Arlington will be going right to left in the all-whites. In the early going, Arlington trying to send a long ball. Nasser able to send it out. Arlington in control of it now. They get it over towards Fleischer, and he will gain the free kick. We've seen from this age group, Chicago was able to do it themselves. These free kicks from this range can be very dangerous. Arlington Impact would dearly love to get an early goal in this one and really put the momentum behind them. Here comes the left footer, and that sails well off the mark. Quickly back into play off the goal kick. Chicago now with it. Gallo will get it here on the near side. He's got a goal to his name. Chicago with plenty of goal scorers. Emmanuel Sabi leading this age group with 4 goals. Nasser able to win it on the far side, gains the throw. Funanyaki skying high to get control of that one. Now trying to get back is Ghazali. His goalkeeper Pineda will come out with the boot. Left-footed through the midfield, intercepted up towards the forward line. Chicago picking up some speed. Sabi wants the ball. Couldn't quite get it over there. Farina. Coach Radoncic telling him to play it that first time. Pineda. Ghazali. Perez. He scored an absolutely beautiful goal yesterday. Just an absolute rip of a shot. Now here's Sabi, the leading goal scorer in the tournament, drawing the foul. Another dangerous one coming up. This time it'll be for Chicago. Arlington no slouch when it comes to scoring goals, although they spread it around a little bit. Brandon Orozco, their leading goal scorer with only 2. Perpa is up there near the ball. Funanyaki is up there as well. The wall plays to Funanyaki. Will put a right foot into it, trying to loft it into the corner, just over the crossbar. The goalkeeper, Hamza Munawar. Looked like he may have had it covered. Although if you put it right in the upper 90, even some of the professional goalkeepers struggle a little bit. Chicago again gaining control, trying to send it up to Farina. Winning the free kick is the Impact. Arlington Impact trying to swing it around along the defensive side. Calling for the ball is Charles Taylor. They try to flick it onto him. Now it'll find him on the wing. Oh, it just goes off the foot. Gallo steps into it, but Taylor will still get it, and he will draw the foul. A lot of whistles here in the early going. The referee wanting everybody to kind of calm down, the nerves going here. National championship game. Everybody's being a little overzealous on the challenges. Referee trying to keep it all wrangled in. Batinovic, a little bit taller, went out to guard that one. Pineda trying to get a fist to it. Goal kick. Arlington Impact trying to get it. Orozco. Offside. And apparently it was a throw. Looked like the official had signaled offside. I should say the assistant referee, as that one goes into touch again. Chicago will throw it again. Funanyaki. Have a little rotate his way around the defender. Comes near side for Sabi. One touch, trying to give it back. Farina. Perpa. Nasser. Funanyaki regains it. Gives it up, and it's booted upfield by Damiani. Onside, linesman says, flag stays down, could be dangerous, shot comes, and they score! Brendan Orozco makes it 1-0. Orozco's third goal of the tournament gives his team the 1-0 lead. That is the first goal given up in this tournament by Chicago Magic. So now we will see their mettle tested and see how they try to regroup, as they have never found themselves trailing. As I mentioned, they finished 2-0-1. Couple wins, one tie. That was a scoreless draw. Sabi was looking for Batinovic. Perez. Now Orozco. Orozco plays it back. High throw in, one by Gallo. One touch from Rojas Goodblood. Gallo quickly in, gets it back. Through to the middle. Farina. Batinovic. Saw the pressure coming, heard the footsteps. Not strong enough to get it to Farina. Rojas Goodbold. Orozco. Sent away by Ibeloa. He had an important goal yesterday. The game winner, in fact. Free kick given. Chicago will have it. Just outside the center circle. Perez, Ibeloa, Perpa. Gallo. Batinovic trying to send him through. Will track it down to the end line. Gets the cross off. Sabi! Couldn't quite get the head that he wanted onto it. High up in the air for Orozco. Ibeloa gets to it. Now it's a foot race. Gallo. Ghazali. Not quite on the same page as Sabi, as the pass went one way, the player the other. Orozco chests it down. Near side for Taylor. Damiani. Back to the keeper. Monauer. Skies it. Not too much distance on it. Now a giveaway. That's not the person you want on the ball. Orozco trying to challenge two defenders. Sending a through ball intended for Lucas Walker. Not quite enough on it as it was a side footer. Good little flick here. Finds Perez. He picks up some speed. Wanted to get it to Farina. Perpa knocks it down. Now with Funanyaki. Sending it for Sabi. Monauer able to get a hand to it. We saw it in the girls' game. Tampa Bay ended up winning the national championship despite the fact that they had lost to Beach FC in the group stage. Could we be seeing the same thing here on the boys' side? Right now, Chicago, who took down Arlington in the group stage, behind it a little bit now. Just past Perpa. Trying to spring it for Orozco. They were pleased for a handball. The referee not heeding them. Now Perez, a little bit worse for wear. Trying to get it for Orozco. Ibeloa wins the goal kick. And Perez seems to have walked off most of what ailed him. Stork and Silamani warming up for Chicago, potential substitutes. If Funanyaki wins it, Farina off the hip. Perpa. Perez. Gallo making the run along the sideline. Has to check back. Back to Perez. Flick through to Funanyaki. Muscles away the defender. Duceshi. Now Funanyaki, he'll take the shot. Difficult to handle there for Monauer, but he got down well and kept the hands behind it. Box to box from the punt. Pineda will take it. Ibeloa. He's got some space. Is Arlington not taking up too much energy trying to chase the ball as they have the lead. Perpa for Sabi. Ifuninyaki. Back for Sabi. Straight away. He slices into the box. Defender cleared it away. Nicholas Ducheshi. The wind, as you can see the flag in the distance when the play is at center field, pretty much going right to left. It's not too strong. This one comes in. Defender clears it partially away. Chasing it down is Nasser. He'll have to go all the way back to Pineda as he had Orozco right on him. Orozco fell down, so that will give Perez a little bit of space. Rojas, good bold, putting on the pressure. Patinovic now with it, trying to keep it in. He will be unable to do so. He was bothered a little bit by Damiani. Flick on by Rojas, good bold. Taylor. Rojas, good bold. Settle down. Fleischer plays it to the far sideline. Ivalo trying to get to it. Lets it roll out for the throw. Ghazali. Ivalo. Ghazali calling for some help. Wants a run. Perez. Ghazali again. Sabi. Intended for Patinovic. Not enough on it. Ivalo with Ghazali. Looks like Stork and Selemani will check in. Patinovic. Now Perez. Back for Ifuninyaki. Touched it a little too strongly. Into the mixer. That one's cleared away, at least for the moment. Off a Chicago player over to the far sideline. Ifuninyaki hits the deck. Cochpato wanting the foul call, none to be had. Pineda tried to play it over for Nasser. So Stork and Selemani will come in for Farina and Patinovic. This game has kind of settled into a bit of a lull after that goal. Chicago's had a decent amount of possession. Had a couple chances as this one rolls out. Looking for Selemani. Gallo. Over the head of Selemani again. Played back. Duteshi was forced to play it out. Selemani was tracking him down. Now into the box. Coming out. Monauer got a piece of it. Just enough to knock it out. That will be a corner kick. Kalinga Selemani will go over, take it from the right side, try to swing it in towards the 6-yard area. Numbers up here for Chicago. Bodies all around. Selemani signals that he's ready, puts it in. Good loft on it. Goalkeeper with the punch. Perez with the volley. Stepped into by the defender. Pineda will come way out of his area as Orozco was coming up as well. Now Lucas Walker. Dances around one defender. Rojas Goodbold. Couldn't quite find the handle. Perez. Selemani. Back to Perez. Too strong. Back into play off the throw-in. Little flick from Fleischer. Ghazali will play it back for Pineda. Ibeloa. Trying to ping it over the top. It'll find Funanyaki. Believe it was intended for Selemaki. Too far for Stork. Perez for Chicago as they regain it. Trying to go over for Funanyaki. Just a little bit of a touch there by Duceshi. And then too far for Lucas Walker. 1-0 and a Brandon Orozco goal. Arlington leads it as we're approaching the midway point of this half. Stork. Gallo. Drops it for Ribeloa. Perez. Perez to Stork and back. Through to Selemani. Ibiloa trying to create some space. Funanyaki never saw it as that one was cut out by Duceshi. He's been solid as a center back. A lot of height. Kettle Stork will take the shot. Oh, and a big save there. Hamza Monauer diving out to the left, getting a hand on it. The rebound was there, but no Chicago player was around. Again, box to box on the punt. It's a bit of a waste from Arlington. Obviously, Chicago will take it, but just because you can kick it that far doesn't necessarily mean you should. Perez. Stork. Sending one through. Ifudanyaki in with the goalkeeper. Monauer able to dive on top of it. He's a little bit upset that there was no foul called, but goalkeepers don't like to be touched. As a former one myself, I can attest to that. Quickly back out into play off the head ball from Pineda. Selemani sends it sky high. Funanyaki with a good settle. Trying to take on the defender and plays it right into the leg. Taylor Housley able to get a piece of that one. Free kick given. Ibeloa being asked to go up from his defensive spot to take the kick. Ibiloa scored from a free kick yesterday against Boston Celtic. It would prove to be the game winner. They would get an insurance goal later. So the Wall backed up into position. Ibiloa is ready. We'll see what they do with it. Josh McCreary getting ready to check in. Here comes the drive, and they score! Equalizer for Evan Ibiloa, and for the second day in a row, he puts one in off the free kick. Absolutely no chance for the goalkeeper. It went directly over the wall into the upper 90, and we have a new game. It's 1-1. So in the 23rd minute, Chicago equalizes. It looked like they were pressing, and they come away with the goal. They were pressuring. Arlington seemed like they were sitting back on their heels a little bit after that goal, perhaps getting a little bit too comfort with their perceived lead. Chicago makes them pay. Again, Aaron Ibiloa putting it in from the free kick. So the players retake the field following the hydration break in the 23rd minute, immediately after the equalizing goal from Aaron Ibiloa. His coach wanted him to take a free kick earlier, and he stayed back in his defensive spot. This time he did go up to take it and ended up perfectly slotting it home. So we've got a new game here, 1-1. Back to square one. Arlington from Virginia. Chicago Magic from Highland Park. Central Time Zone and Eastern represented. It's been a good matchup so far. Both goals, although the Arlington one was off of a mistake, still nicely taken. Goalkeepers with no chance on either one of them as Sabi hits the turf. He will gain the free kick. Perpa for Chicago. Ibiloa. Back for Ghazali. Gallo. Taylor is on him. Cut out by Ibiloa. Now Stork. Gallo. Funanyaki. Sabi with the touch. Ifuninyaki takes it. Ifuninyaki sending it in, looking for Selamani. Brian Arambula will come into the game at the next opportunity as the goal kick comes. Taylor with the flick, looking for Orozco. Ghazali was right on him. Pineda struggling with it a little bit as the ball's bouncing around quite a little bit here today. The turf has taken a pounding with so many games over the course of this week. We have even switched fields. This championship game was intended to be on field 12. This is on field 4 now. Most of that was due to the weather. But still, games have been played on this field earlier in the week. So Arambula comes in for Gallo. Stork on the ball. Arambula with his first touch. Funanyaki through the midfield. Stork, his bodies collide in the center circle. Stork with the giveaway. Spent too much time seeing when the run was going to come. Now Selemani with it. Plays it through. Not quite enough steam on it. Cut out by Taylor. He's trying to spring a counterattack. Wanting to send the ball over the top through Orozco was Fleischer. Now they try to get it into Sabi. He's onside. Goalkeeper coming. Punches it away. Lucas Walker for Arlington. Damiani loses control of it. Here's Selemani. It's a hard man to push off the ball. Feet taken out from behind him. Looked like he was on top of the ball too, so it could have gone either way. But the foul is given, and again, another dangerous free kick. This one's going to be even more difficult perhaps than the last, which they scored on, as this one's from almost straight away, just a little bit left of center and just outside that semicircle on top of the box. Ibiloa will take it again. Can he make it 3 in a row? Takes it, and he scores! Aaron Ibiloa, he is on fire. You cannot give that man a free kick because he will put it in the back of the net. So Chicago with 2 free kicks here in the first half take the 2-1 lead after falling behind by the score of nothing. So the 32nd minute rolled around. Just 9 minutes after the first goal, Ibiloa puts another one in. So now Arlington will have to chase the game. They took that early lead and perhaps took their foot off the gas a little bit. 2 solid free kick goals from Aaron Ibiloa. 3 in 2 days now for him. And Chicago finds himself with a 1-goal lead. A little more than 12 minutes left to go here in the half. In regulation, anyway. Ziad Ferris will come into the game at the next opportunity for the Magic. Arlington trying to get something going. Again, they had that early lead on a Brian Orozco cracker of a goal. But 2 have been answered from Aaron Ibiloa. Headed back the other way. Lucas Walker trying to catch the goalkeeper out a little bit. Pineda, he likes to come out and try to play those. Taylor trying to settle it down. He's doing battle there with Arambula. Does not win it. It'll be a goal kick, and the substitute will be allowed. So Perpa will get a break. Ferris will come in. Goal kick puts it back into play. Won by Damiani. Nathan Johnson won the second time. Quickly back into play off the restart. Ghazali. Funanyaki was calling for it. Stark takes the man down from behind. Arlington will gain the free kick. Quickly back in. Damiani plays it through the midfield. Too far for Johnson, but a man will get to it on the far side. Pinging it back towards the top. Lucas Walker settles down with the chest, gets a shot! Diving over to the right was Pineda. Funanyaki wins it after the missed kick by the goalkeeper, Pineda. Into touch. Substitute again coming in for Chicago. Joshiana. Lucas Walker. Ghazali too tall for that one. Stork. The field really drying out there in the midfield. You can see the dust flying up on a lot of those drag challenges. Here's Ferries. Perez tried to stick his foot in there. Ferries. Near side of Funanyaki. Comes in, wins it. Good touch. Trying to send it through to Sabi. Not quite enough on it. Up the wing for McCreary. Taylor. Damiani, let it run through. Johnson. McCreary. Lucas Walker was trying to track back. Silamani for Perez. Chicago gets it again. Silamani for Fariz. Arambula. Ghazali able to win that one. Chicago won't retain possession. William McCreary winning the throw. There are two McCrearys. 10 and 13, William and John. William McCreary able to win it. Trying to find Johnson. He intended that one for John McCreary. They wanted to get that one over to Sabby, but Taylor Hosley saw it. Offside against Lucas Walker. Doesn't necessarily agree with the assessment by the official. Back to Ibiloa. He's got both goals here today for Chicago as they lead 2-1. Ibiloa trying to outwork Lucas Walker. Lucas Walker gives it over to Taylor. Trying to slide it through to John McCreary. He's going to get it towards the end line. Pushed off by Ibiloa, and Ibiloa wins the goal kick. Coach Radoncic telling his team that they want to keep the ball, enough of the long balls, keep possession. But there's a giveaway. John McCreary sends it over to the far side, trying to get on top of it is Fleischer. Sending the long ball in for Lucas Walker, but Pineda was right underneath it. Not a bad idea over from the far side, but it was well too close to the goal frame, and thus the goalkeeper, Pineda, able to get his palms around it. Miss hit. Funanyaki looking for the run. Might want to take it himself. He's going to challenge at least one defender. Lifts it over to the far sideline. Not quite enough to get over towards the corner for Silamani. But it will go into touch. Arlington will put in a substitution, trying to change their fortunes here. They took the 1-0 lead, and then Chicago has answered with 2 free kick goals. Joseph Fadul will come in. So about 5 minutes left in regulation in this half, plus any stoppage time. Perez, Silamani, challenged by Johnson. Chicago still with it in their dark blue jerseys. A long shot coming here. Took an odd hop. Getting the body behind it, though, is Hamza Monar. Looking for Lucas Walker. Ibiloa, a little bit too quick even for him. Both players run into the signage along the end line. Foul given, free kick will go in. So the free kick on the attacking side for Arlington. Left foot in towards the near post. Head ball coming in from Duchesne, but too much spin on it as it wheeled its way around the post. Alejandro Cervantes will check into the game to give Funanyaki a little bit of a rest. Ready himself for the second half. Ibiloa. Perez. Ferez. Trying to lift it over the top. Lucas Walker with the pressure. Too far for Ferez. Ryan Burns will come into the game now for Arlington Impact, as they are still looking to make an impact on this one. They've already scored a goal, but they find themselves down 2-1. Now here comes Campbell, lifting it over the top for William McCreary. Casali right on him. They will give the foul. It could have either been a foul or a handball, as most of those are in these kind of situations when the player goes down and grabs the ball. McCreary looks like he might be a little bit injured, kind of fell awkwardly on the ball. Don't really feel it was from the challenge. But nevertheless, a free kick in a potentially dangerous area here for Arlington Impact. So Will McCreary gets up, shakes off the little shoulder injury that he picked up. They play it in off the defender, a corner kick. comes the right footer. Good amount of loft on it, but Pineda tracked it all the way and made the grab. Here comes the counterattack potentially for Chicago. Trying to get back on side was the attacker. Still picking up pace through midfield, looking for Sabi. Cut out at the last moment as Jacob Campbell took to ground to take that ball. Out off of John McCreary, as the McCrearys have changed their wings. Stork puts on the brakes, rolls it past the defender, sends it in again, too close to the keeper. Chicago Magic PSG wearing the Paris Saint-Germain kits. Instead, it's Will McCreary carrying it up the wing, looking for options. Ghazali able to get a leg to it. 2 minutes of stoppage time will be added on to the end of this half. Will McCreary again into the box, offside, wouldn't count it, but the ball didn't get through anyway, as Fadal was offside. Pineda puts it back into play. Silamani. Perez. Ibiloa. Lofts one for Arambula, but way too much on it. Final minute and a half here as time waning away on the first 45 on the foot of Taylor Hosley. Take it away, Stork with it. Cervantes. Now Perez. Silamani making the run. Gets the ball. Silamani taking on all comers. Near side to Arambula. Arambula will serve it into the box. Oh, he had Silamani there. It's still alive. Perez made the run as well. Nobody could really get a good connection on it. It rolls out for the goal kick. And there is the whistle for the halftime break. 1-1, or 2-1, excuse me, is your score. Chicago with a couple Aaron Ibiloa free kicks to put themselves in the lead after the Arlington Impact had initially taken the lead. Their goal came from Brandon Orozco, but 2 goals were answered in quick succession, only about 9 minutes in between, and Chicago is only 45 minutes away from a potential national championship. Stay right here. Keep it tuned to this Turbo Sports production of the U17 U.S. Youth National Championships. We'll take a quick break for halftime, and when we come back, we'll have the second 45. Back after this on Turbo Sports. This is the U.S. Soccer Youth National Championships, brought to you by Turbo Sports Group. Nike, the official supplier of U.S. Youth Soccer. Olive Garden, the official dining room of U.S. Youth Soccer. Sports Authority, the official sporting goods retailer of U.S. Youth Soccer. And Wilson Trophy Company, the official awards, medals, and pin supplier of U.S. Youth Soccer. NSCAA is also a proud partner of U.S. Youth Soccer. Welcome back to the Mohawk Soccer Complex here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm Todd Panula, and I hope that you're enjoying this fantastic game that we are bringing to you, the Under-17 Boys National Championship game between the Chicago Magic and the Arlington Impact. As the scoreline stands right now, you see it up you will see it up on the corner of your screen once we rejoin you in full. It is 2-1 in favor of Chicago, and they are only 45 minutes away from a potential national championship. Obviously, Arlington is going to have something to say between now and then, but there is plenty left in this one to enjoy. Chicago, though, with two great goals from Aaron Ibiloa. He has been unstoppable the last couple days on the free kicks. Scored two here today, one yesterday. Both of his goals came after the 20th minute, as he scored in the 23rd and 32nd minute to answer an early goal from Brandon Orozco, who beat Carlos Pineda for the first time in this tournament. And I don't mean that Orozco beat him for the first time. I mean Pineda was beaten by anybody for the first time in this tournament on that goal. But his team rallied around and picked him up and have given him a one-goal cushion. And that is where we stand after 45 minutes of play. The referees are taking the field. Chicago had one last little douse of water on their heads to cool them off. It's Chicago Magic trying to win a national championship, but Arlington Impact doing their best to try to do something about it. So everybody in position. The referee hands the ball over. They put it down on the spot to go for the second 45. Again, Chicago up 2-1 after the first 45. So we enter the 46th minute. And Chicago probably going to play pretty much the way they have the entire time. They want to have possession, but they're not going to stop creating chances. Toure gives it over to the near side. Back to him. Toure plays it over the top. Instead, Chicago coming away with it. Perez, Fudinyaki, try to give it back to Perez. A little too cute. Cutting it out was Campbell. Flag stays down. Ghazali able to get to it. Cleared away. Interesting that I do not see Brian Orozco out on the pitch right now. We'll see if he's a mid or late second half substitution. Try to get that offensive magic going if they're still down by one. Fadul is currently the lone striker for Arlington. Ibiloa, Perez. Perez. Arambula Played it up. Filtered on through to Funanyaki. Takes the shot. Blocked. Bounds off the signage, and it'll be a corner kick. Jesus Perez will take the corner from the far side. He'll take it with a left foot. Try to swing one towards the target. Body's moving around. The official keeping an eye on it. Perez had to resituate the ball as the wind caught it a little bit. Now he's ready. Towards the 6-yard area, punching it away as Monauer. Funanyaki tried to keep in position. Able to clear it at least momentarily as Campbell. That'll go into touch again for an Arlington throw. Burns. Campbell. Back to the line for Housley. Stork. Salamani. Chicago with the shot. Fumbling it was Monauer. Funanyaki was racing in for the rebound, but Monauer was able to corral it. Trying to go over the top for Fadul. He was bumped off the ball. Chicago with the potential counterattack. Stork in the center circle. Leaves it for Perez, and it got caught up in the feet. Funanyaki. That ball really bouncing here as the turf has begun to get baked between yesterday and today. Foul against Chicago as Stork went in a little too roughly. Funanyaki trying to race that one down. Instead, it comes over to the near side for Acosta. Sends it through to Fleischer. Fleischer takes a shoulder. It's all legal according to the official. Funanyaki, Salamani, and back. Funanyaki being told to take it upfield. The defender was too close. Toure. Held in along the line by Acosta. It'll eventually roll out off of Ferries into play. Acosta. Stepped into by Iana. Now the foul will be called as Acosta stuck the leg in a little too close, perhaps dragging the cleats along a leg. Linesman spotted it. Head ball won by Duceshi. Perez for Chicago. Over the top, Funanyaki sends it in. Well too hard for Sabi. 2-1 your score. Arlington took the lead early in the first half. Chicago answered in the 22nd and 32nd minute with free kick goals from Aaron Ibaloa. This one rolling into the box. Pineda will come out. Finally, he'll pick it up. Knuckler high in the air. Stork. Arambula. Funanyaki. Couldn't quite get the touch on it he wanted. Into touch, throw in for Arlington. Toure trying to track it down. Pineda will come out. He flirts with danger every now and then, but he loves to come out and try to play those balls. Kind of that sweeper-keeper role. Very similar to the German national goalkeeper. Chipped high into the box, looking for post. Chicago steps into it as Rambula got the head onto it. Now Toure will send it in again. This time to the top of the box. And again, Ghazali is there. Funanyaki wanted to go to Sabi, had it taken away by Burns. Acosta going through. Fadul was offside. The sun really beating down as we approach the 12 o'clock hour here in the Central Standard Time Zone. Just about 14 minutes away from noon. Closing in on the 1 o'clock hour, obviously, for those of you watching in Virginia. And wherever you're at, we appreciate you watching. Turbo Sports has brought you all the games in this tournament. And we are proud to present this Under-17 National Championship. Far side looking for a Funanyaki as Chicago would really like to get an insurance goal here. Sends it in with the left foot, too far behind both Sabi and Stork. Sabi able to get to it, though. Great body control. That one, taking on a couple defenders. Now leaves it for Iana. Iana, too far into the box. Manauer will put it into play off the punt. Line drive through midfield. McCreary looking for Fadul. McCreary on it again. Right footed out. Toure trying to get it to Will McCreary. Into the box. Rojas, good bold. Played it into the defender. Here's Burns. Just foots it right up into the air. Toure leaves it back. Trying to get over the top, and the player is obliterated. Christopher Fleischer hits the turf. Does not look like there's going to be a booking, at least yet. So the card will stay in the pocket as Ziad Ferries just got a talking to. A far cry from the Under-19 championship, which we brought you last night, in which there were 10 cards, 8 of them yellow, 2 straight red. It's been a much different deal here in this championship as it's been a fairly clean played game. Selemani able to win it. Out battling Acosta. Selemani trying to turn on the afterburners. Acosta touched it. And it will be a throw for the Magic. Iana, Perez, Stork. Filtered through to Selemani. Takes on the defender, takes a hip check. Ghazali, Arambula. Off the side foot. Fadul trying to put on some pressure. Funanyaki. Played off of Funanyaki. So it will go out for an Arlington throw. High up into the air, Fleischer trying to get to it for Arlington, fails to do so. Rojas Goodbold is taken down from behind. Just two players going hard there, and good to see some sportsmanship as Salamani helped him up, trying to get it quickly on the restart. Rojas Goodbold plays it over towards McCreary, wants to send it in towards the box. Fadul will not be able to get to that one. Rojas Goodbold again, but Fadul again not able to get to that one as Arambula was able to send it away. Now Perez, Salamani had it caught up in his feet just a little bit. Sabi steps to it, loses it to Toure. Wanted to go over the top, almost misplayed by Ibiloa. Instead, here comes Iana. Nobody making the run down the line, despite the behest of their head coach, Bato Radoncic. Iana, Stork. Arambula will have to track back to get that one. Stork. Rojas Goodbold able to pilfer it away. Coming to the near side, Acosta. On it now. Toure. Again, that ball bouncing a lot here on this very dry turf. Not sure if the camera picks it up as Stork hits the deck. Coming in now for Arlington, Lucas Walker and Damiani. Tufik Lucas Walker. No goals to his name in this tournament, but he's definitely got one of the best hairstyles. A little bit reminiscent of Carlos Valderrama. Perhaps not quite as poofy. Arlington, nevertheless, find themselves down by a goal here as Acosta works around Salamani. Near side for Fadul. Now for Rojas Goodbold. Fadul able to keep that one into the box. Ghazali able to head it away. Perez, too far for Stork. They have to regroup now as, again, the dust continues to fly out of that midfield area, showing how dry it has become despite the fact that we had a decent amount of rain beforehand. Not in the last couple days, but earlier in the week. Headed towards target, but not quite on frame. Yard or so over the goal. Off the back of Stork, Ifuninyaki, Salamani. One touch, going to be a little too strong now, but here's a giveaway. Ifuninyaki sends it across, chested down by Sabi, off the head of the defender. Sabi still onto it, juggling and flicking it around. Sabi still with it. Finally pinched off by the defense. Rojas Goodbold sending it over the top. Ibiloa was right there. Got a couple goals, and he's a center back, but he knows how to take those free kicks. Splitting the defense if Funinyaki was through, but the ball was too heavy. Brandon Orozco will come in now. Perpa will also check back into the game for Chicago. Orozco in for Fadul. Interesting swap there, as you would think that they might want to leave both of them in, as they need goal-scoring prowess in the game. But they have their starting pair from the beginning of the game in now, as Tufik Lucas Walker, as well as Brandon Orozco are in the game. Chicago with another giveaway. They are trying to retain some possession here, just kill off time. Still a long way to go in this one, and only a one-goal lead. Funanyaki can't quite settle it down. He took a knock in the back, and he is down. Perhaps the wind knocked out of him. No whistle, and the ball still in play. Acosta wanted to get it up to Lucas Walker. Instead, Chicago will take control. Near side, Perpa. Ayana right there. Not going to hit him. Trying to go over the top. They're looking for Sabi. But again, it just didn't have that spin on it. With this dry field, it's going to run off the grass very quickly. Ayana wins it back towards the midfield. Looking over the top. Ibiloa gets a left foot to it to the near sideline. Touch towards the line and let run out. Quickly back into play by Fleischer. Looking for Orozco. He uses magic on the ball in the first half. Can he create something here? Back to Fleischer. Acosta fakes out his man. Sends it across the box. Takes a deflection. Bicycle kick away by Ibiloa. Stork. Stepped into by the defender. Now Damiani. His through ball was taken away. Funanyaki. Too strong again. Duceshi. Here's Perez. Far side as they switch it. Sabi upset he didn't get the ball, but here's a Funanyaki. Always dangerous. Arambula. Ghazali. Over to the far side again. Perez. Ibiloa. Bit of a miss hit there. Iana coming back for it. Ibiloa. Again, high sky. Underneath it. Stork can't settle it down. Damiani gives it away. Perez. Kendall Stork trying to send it through again too direct. Sabi had also stopped his run, but that was most likely always going to be the keeper's ball. Quickly back into play by Monauer. Sabi. Too much spin off the chest. Perez and Iana. Can't get the touch on it. Arlington perhaps able to create some danger here. Orozco. And good body position there by the Chicago Magic, drawing the foul. So Chicago playing a man down now. As Ghazali apparently had some blood on his hand. Training staff will see to him and try to get him back in quickly. Chicago nevertheless pushing it up into the attacking area. Keeping it over on the far sideline, but they've gained a lot of throw-ins as they continue to milk the clock a little bit. Leading 2-1 with 2 goals from Aaron Ibiloa. Funanyaki, now Sabi, who's been pushed back to a more midfield role. That's actually Stork on the ball. Ghazali back into the game now. Sabi from that attacking midfield role that he has taken up. Near side for Iana. Tracking back is Lucas Walker to try to take it away. Pushes it through the defenders, but then they kept him away from the run. Trying to spring Brian Orozco, but too many blue jerseys. 4 surrounding Orozco. Still trying to go through. Pineda will come out to get it. Ayana throws it through to Stork. Touched out by Duceshi. And there is the whistle. We will get a hydration break as we are approximately midway through the half. Chicago halfway through this half that they're trying to make this 2-1 lead hold up before they can potentially win a national championship. Players retaking the field following the hydration break. 70th minute here, so only about 20 minutes between this game and a potential end. Arlington needs an equalizer to extend it. Chicago would really like to put in a third goal and kind of put this one on ice. They currently have the 2-1 lead. Arlington, with that early goal, tried to make it stand up, and there was just too much time really to do that. As this one goes to Stork. Now back to Perpa. Stork again onside. Left alone a little bit, trying to get it back to Perpa. He's up from his left back position. Still got Stork and gives it to him. All the way back for Perez. One touch intended for Ifunanyaki. That'll be cleared away. Orozco trying to get it down. Plays it out. Taylor back into the game now for Arlington as they are searching for anything in terms of attack. Funanyaki able to win it away. Brings it back just a little bit. Now for Sabi. Good defending there. And now they send it up. Looking for Lucas Walker. McCreary calling for the ball. A little bit over his head, but he'll range back and get it. Going over the top for Orozco. Cut over towards the far side. Perpa able to win it. Foul given. Chicago with the free kick. Deep inside their own end. Damiani getting it for Arlington. Gives it away immediately. Sabi with a little chip. Perez gives it back. Sabi absorbing a little bit of a tug. Onside for Ifunanyaki. Sabi wanted it. He will not get it. Ifunanyaki, left foot shot. Jumping to make the grab was Monauer. Trying to go over the top again to Orozco. Can't say it'll never work, but right now that long ball is just not there. I understand the tactic, but Arlington would be better served to try to thread a few passes together. Now for Lucas Walker. Iviloa gets a piece of it. Perpa. Perez. Sabi setting it near side for Ifunanyaki. Tracks it down nicely. Puts on the brakes and hits the deck. A lot of spin on that one. It'll go into touch. Substitute coming in for Arlington as Nate Johnson will come back into the game. And that will potentially end the day for Roger Rojas Goodbold. Perpa. Ibiloa. Fakes out the attacker. Perpa again. Trying to get it through to Perez. Trying to go over the top. Once again, long ball's just not really there. Ifunanyaki keeps it in, cuts it back behind the defender, over towards the middle. Perez looking for Sabi. Stork will race it down. Now for Sabi again. Advantage played. Now it is taken away, and we're going to have our first yellow card of the game. Going to go against Arlington. Jacob Campbell called for the offense. So Stork back up on his feet. Chicago Magic with another opportunity here. No, they're going to call it a goal kick. I thought that the official was going to call it back and take the advantage away as it was not long held, but the goal kick will happen, but the foul will still draw the yellow. Two to 1 Chicago. Is this one just sent into the box? Monauer out. He's got Taylor here on the near wing, pretty much all by himself if they hit it. They go up the middle instead. Orozco. McCreary. Damiani. Hosley. Looking for Lucas Walker. Had it poked away by Ibiloa. It will be an Arlington throw. Substitution coming in for the Impact. John McCreary will come back in. John McCreary with the throw-in. Only finds one of the Magic players. Now here's Will McCreary taking out Mbula. touched out. And it'll be a goal kick. Yana settles it down. And here's Perpa. With pressure on his back, sends it through to Afuninyaki. He'll let it roll all the way to the end line before putting the stop on it. Back for Perpa. Man on his back, taken down. The referee says no. Sabi steps into it. Afuninyaki will keep it in. One-touch passing. Here comes Sabi. Back over to the left, taking the shot, and went through the wickets of the defender. But not too much on it. A little bit of the steam was taken off of that one. Ghazali got it through the midfield. It'll go over to the far side. Stork pushes it around the defender. And he will be whistled for the foul. Sabi on it, drags it back. Stork. Slide tackle from Damiani. Wins the ball, playing it through. Lucas Walker. And again, too many numbers for Chicago. Coach McGee getting very frustrated on the near sideline. Afuninyaki takes the shove, takes the ball with him. Here's Sabi, cutting it over towards the corner. Now back into the box. From the end line, sends it across. Not cleanly played away, but Arlington still with it. Perpa will have an opportunity. Thought about hitting it. Gets it back from Perez. Touches it over the goalkeeper, and it's in. He scores! Luca Perpa makes it 3-1. Gallo will come back into the game as Chicago now looks to close this one out. They've got the cushy 2-goal lead now. As that goal comes in the 80th minute. So now just 10 minutes between Chicago and a national championship. The title slipping away from Arlington. Chicago can almost taste it. Afuninyaki taken down, but it'll go out for the goal kick. Monauer wasting a little bit of time to put it back into play here. Time is a luxury that Arlington does not have right now, down by 2. John McCreary. Iana guarding closely. Can't get it to Lucas Walker. Perez trying to get it to Perez. Gallo with the challenge. A little bit careless, but both players going in hard there. The referee will give a talking to Gallo. I do not feel that he is going to bring out the yellow. And indeed, he will give the card. It was a long talking to there. But ultimately, the yellow card was brandished. It goes to Michael Gallo. So a last-ditch effort perhaps for Arlington. They've got to get one here to give themselves any of a chance. You get 5 minutes or under, and that becomes extremely difficult. Into the air, flicked down by Orozco, but it's going to come out. The referee saw something at the top of the box that he did not like. So Arlington doing themselves no favors. Coming into the game now is Spencer Farina. Kendall Stork, who did some great work over on the far sideline, whether he was in the midfield or in a forward role. He won't show up on the score sheet, but he is a big reason why this team is ahead. Under 10 minutes in regulation to go here. Pineda taking his time to put it back into play. Iana puts a body to it. Ifuninyaki in a battle with John McCreary. That's just booted away. And now we have a player down for Chicago behind the play. Looks like Aaron Ibiloa, the goal scorer. He's got 2 of the 3 Chicago goals. So that will allow some players to come over and get a little bit of hydration. Perhaps just a cramp at this late stage of the game as the sun at its apex. So we are past the noon hour here in Tulsa. Almost 20 after, to be specific, and it is 93 degrees here. There's a pleasant breeze that cuts down the heat a little bit, but still, once you get into the 90s, it's just hot. And Ibiloa perhaps suffering from a cramp or perhaps a knock from behind. Chicago closing in on a national championship. They're up by 2. A lot of spin on that ball off the throw-in. Won by McCreary as he boots it away. Now Taylor tugs on Purpa. Again, a collision here. Farina, Purpa, looking for Ifuninyaki. Monauer trying to push it upfield. Off the punt. Orozco misses on the header, but gets it back. Orozco with space. Over here to the near side for John McCreary. Now comes Nasser. Now here's Damiani. Left foot curling right at the goalkeeper. Didn't get enough behind it. Too much off the side foot. Pineda will use up all the time given to him and now puts it on the ground. Will McCreary couldn't quite settle it down. Headed away. Chicago, the 3-1 lead, potential national champions. Arlington desperately trying to get something going. They've got to put one in quickly and give themselves time for that equalizer. John McCreary has it go out, but it'll be a throw-in to Damiani. Arlington pressing numbers forward. Again, the left foot was blocked. Chicago will not allow Arlington any space. Ifuninyaki right on the line, stays in. He's got Farina all by himself. The goalkeeper comes out to try to make a play on it. Gets a piece of it. Farina still with it. Ifuninyaki, the bicycle kick. Oh, and it will not go. Farina with good service and a top-notch effort by Afuninyaki, but he just couldn't quite strike it sweetly. What a goal that would have been to really put the icing on top of this one. Cleared away by Nasser. Farina. Long ball looking for Orozco. They've tried that all game, and it just really has not been there. Arlington was able to spring a little bit of something with that first goal, but ever since then, Chicago has been wise to it, and they have kept that back around where they have been able to play those long balls for themselves. Into touch, Arlington throw. Again, looking long for Orozco. Ghazali will head it away. Still in pressure, though. Lucas Walker trying to create some havoc. Over the top of McCreary, it'll go out. Chicago throw. Trying to get pressure into the box. Bodies collide, and the foul will go against Arlington. I believe that was Nate Johnson trying to get it into a dangerous area. Gallo heads it away. Arlington boots it near side. Looking for John McCreary. Coming back from an offside position was Lucas Walker. Originally it was supposed to be a foul. Interesting that the official ended up going with the offside call. I suppose that supersedes because it would have happened first. And there will be 4 minutes of stoppage time added on. Chicago only 4 minutes standing between them and the national championship unless something extremely magical can happen here for Arlington. Perez. Sabi took a push and went off of him, though, and will be a throw-in for Arlington. Going over the top again. Those long balls just not there. I mean, at this point of the game, you do have to do that. Just get it forward. But it hasn't been working all game for Arlington. There's Damiani. Takes the hip check. The referee says play on. Perez. Afuninyaki. To the Sabi, but he had stopped his run. Coach Radoncic imploring his team to get back, put numbers behind the ball, keep everything safe. Perez trying to go over the top. Flag comes up. Get back, The championship hats are out, as well as the T-shirts. All they're waiting now for is the final whistle. Chicago up 3-1. 2 goals from Aaron Ibiloa And the third insurance goal from Luca Perpa. Arlington trying to pull off something special, but they have to hurry here. There seems to be very little urgency from the impact. Ball back into play, way up in the air. Pineda comes out with a strong punch. Sabi misses, but getting to it now is Gallo. Gallo bringing it up the pitch. Tries to play it for Sabi. He will get to it first. Takes a little bit of a bump. Here comes Gallo. Can he make it forward? He does. He scores! Michael Gallo, his second goal of the tournament. Puts the icing on the cake. So reality setting in now for Arlington. Chicago all but crowned. They're going to be 2015 USYS national champions. And there it is. There is the final whistle. Chicago has won the 2015 national championship for the under-17 boys division. You can tell that they're extremely happy, but they put so much energy into this game that it's almost too much to celebrate. But I think once everything kind of settles in and they're able to get some water, they will be able to really soak this in and celebrate a title. Arlington looked like they were going to be in charge of things. They got an early goal from Brandon Orozco, his third of the tournament, but they tried to sit on it a little too much, and Chicago was having none of that. Two Aaron Ibeloa free kick goals, one in the 23rd minute, one in the 32nd, was basically all Chicago would need. They would get two more in the later stages of the game. Luca Perpa would get a goal in the 80th minute, and then a stoppage time to goal for Michael Gallo would really put the nail in the coffin for a 4-1 victory for Chicago Magic PSG. So now Chicago starts to celebrate a little bit more. I think they're finding their second wind, but they've really taken it out of themselves here in the heat. High 90s throughout the week, and they've played a lot of games in a short amount of time. But don't let their reaction potentially fool you. They're excited. Anybody would be winning a national championship, and they will take the cup back to Highland Park, Illinois, where it will proudly be on display until the next year. Again, Arlington Impact, a valiant effort. They really played a decent game for most of the first half, but then once Chicago managed to get their first goal, that really kind of took the wind out of their sails. Here comes the Gatorade bath. Radoncic doesn't expect it at all, and they get him, and he is doused with the water right there. And given the conditions that we've had here in Tulsa, that's got to feel extra good on top of the victory as well. So Chicago continues to celebrate. They are 2015 national champions. The final score, 4-1. For Mark Rowland here in the truck, for everybody here at Turbo Sports, we hope you enjoyed this contest. We hope you enjoyed the tournament as a whole. Turbo Sports brought you all the coverage on this tournament. And once again, Chicago winning this U17 final 4-1. They are national champions. Again, for everybody here, our great camera crew, I'm Todd Panula. Chicago are national champions for 2015. Have a great week. Have a great day.